Hello, my name is Sarah Wyman Grover, and this is So Wyman's Rock and Writing. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a return subscriber, thank you very much. Happy to see everyone again. My channel is mostly focused on writing, but here today with another little tarot video. This is for my group on Facebook. This was started by my friends Richard at Longman Tarot and Gerald at the Hermit Mage. They decided to create a Facebook group centered around a hashtag called Tried Spread Revisited. Long story short, you pick a spread, you start at the new moon, and you return to that. You do it, and then you come back to it at least 2 to 3 more times that month, either with a different deck or with the same cards from a different deck, or with an entirely new, cards from different decks, just basically to see how that changes the spread. Because a lot of times you write, you do a tarot spread, you record it, and then you forget about it. And this is just kind of a way to help with that. So I elected and volunteered to come up with our second spread for the group to do, and I'm calling it Centered on Growth. So, inspired by Gerald, I've actually created the cards for you. So this spread is going to be called Centered on Growth. And before we get started, I would love to encourage everyone to check out the Tried Spread Revisited group on Facebook, and to visit Richard at Longman Tarot and Gerald at the Hermit Mage. We also have several other wonderful people in our group with other YouTube channels out there. Any visits, likes, shares, comments, and engagement would be appreciated. Help us all kind of keep bringing stuff to people. So let's go through this spread. I'm kind of proud with how it turned out. Sorry, bumped the table. You can tell I'm filming this a little bit on the fly and late at night and at the 11th hour. Go figure. It's been kind of a crazy day, and I'm just doing the best I can to try to get this up for everybody. So I apologize if it's a little rough and not polished. Got my notes here just in case I forget something. But long story short, our last spread, Tell Me About Joy, which Gerald came up with, really brought up some interesting things and really kind of pointed me in the direction of some shadow work that I actually am very appreciative of. So what I'm going to do is basically, I intend to kind of use this as some of the shadow work, and it came up that way when I created it. So I will put a disclaimer and a warning out right now. There is a possibility, depending on what cards come up and depending on how deep you want to go with this spread, you could wind up finding yourself in the middle of some shadow work, and it could bring up some deep, deep stuff. So I'm going to say right away, since we don't want to force anybody to share if they're not comfortable, and since we don't want anybody triggered, this could potentially bring up some deep stuff because it's about getting to the root of things and of certain problems. So you think it's going to trigger you? You don't have to do it. If the reading turns out to be way more personal than what you were expecting to, you don't have to share it. I'm going to throw that out there right now as a caveat, and I don't think anybody else in the group will mind that. If you get something a little too personal and elect not to share. Perfectly understandable. So, like I said, I decided to call it Centered on Growth. It's a 7-card spread. I do have a tendency to love my odd numbers. And, we like to go, another good goal for this, we were trying to go a little bit beyond the usual 1 to 3 card readings. But the 9 cards just, it really helped, but it also felt like a little much. So I kind of wanted to go a little deeper, but still kind of keep it a little less than that. So I went with 7. Because again, you have the symmetrical. You'll see when I laid it out. I have already posted a picture so you can kind of see what it looks like when it's fully laid out, because unfortunately, I'm filming this on my phone. I'm still kind of working on my editing and my filming expertise, so I really don't have a way to do a top-down yet for you, so I apologize. So the picture is going to have to be the best I can do, and I'll try to describe the spread and how you do it very well. But you're going to have 7 cards. Now, for the first card, you're going to have several choices as to how you pick that first card. Obviously you're going to want to shuffle your deck, but now for that first one, you can either just shuffle the deck, pick a card, put it face down in the center of the spread. However you want to do it. Alternatively, you could pick a card like a significator. You could flip through and pick a card that represents what you want to put there in the center. And I will get over what this first card is supposed to be here momentarily, but you can pick it and put it there face up if you want. So that's one. You could pick it out and put it face up. You could shuffle it, and then as you're shuffling, whatever card jumps out, first one that jumps out, that's your first card. And you can use that either, and if it lands face up, you'll read it face up. If it lands face down, you'll read it face down. However you want to set it down, up to you. Those are kind of the 3 options you have, or at least in my head, of how you get that first card there. That first card is your goal, or what I like to call your main opportunity for growth. This is the plant, if you want to call it that you're trying to grow. This is the thing that you want to cultivate. Be it something you consciously want to try to cultivate, or something that, you're either unconsciously trying to bring into the world, or the thing that needs to be brought into the world. However, because if it's face down, I would read that as that's your subconscious telling you what you need to do, or the thing that's trying to basically be born, trying to get your attention, so to speak. And then you're going to have 2 columns of 3. 1, 2, 3 on either side. Now, those other 6 cards, once you got your significator, once you've got that goal card in the middle, then shuffle the deck however the heck you want to, and you pick 6. 3 on each side in a column. So you have 3, 1, and 6 all in a line, and then 2 and 5 right across from each other, and 4 and 7 right across from each other. Now, your right-hand column, these are your seeds, as I like to call them. These are the things that you need to cultivate. These are the things you need to be aware of. These are the things you most need to be aware of in order to bring that goal to fruition. Either it's something you need to do, a goal you need to meet, or some kind of habit you need to knock the heck off, or just something you need to be aware of that is going to be needed to get you to this goal. With the understanding being that card number 4, the one on the bottom, that's going to be number 1. It's going to be because if it's buried in dirt at the very bottom, it's the one that's going to take possibly the longest to bring to fruition. It's going to be the one that's going to take the most effort. And it's also going to be the one that's basically, it's your most important, hardest to grow, hardest to cultivate, but at the same time, the one you want to pay the most attention to is going to be that one at the very bottom of that first column of your seeds. And then you just go through, flip them over, and interpret your cards as you will. These are the things I need to cultivate, and that last one at the bottom is the one I need to pay the most attention to, because it's going to be the most crucial. It may also take the most time or the most effort to make that happen, but I need to do it. Now on your other side, you have what I call the weeds. These are the things that need to be pulled. These are the habits, thoughts, places, things that need to change in order for this to come about. These are the things you need to be most aware of. And again, 5, 6, and 7. Now, number 7, the one at the bottom, that's the one that's buried the deepest. That's the one that's going to be the hardest to root out. It might hurt the most. It might take the longest. And again, it might hurt the most, and it might be the most difficult of all these things to root out. But that's going to be the linchpin. You will need to root that thing out in order to get to your goal. And essentially, the spread is just revealing what the little milestones you need to make along the way to get to that goal, and the obstacles you need to be aware of that could be in your path on the way to do it. Or, and again, you see where I could say this could be shadow work, because what if it's not things or obstacles that right side brings up? What if it's like something that sparks personal memories, personal trauma? What if it's, pulls up something about dealing with negative habits? Good, for instance, what if you wind up with the Devil card? That could be you having to overcome an addiction. That could be you having to face some really harsh truths. Tower card could come up over there. Just as a few examples. So that's why I say it could get heavy, but I think it's also a great opportunity. I'm a sucker for shadow work. So I'm really looking forward to it. Now, what I will do, although technically the new moon I don't think is until Thursday, but what I will wind up doing is probably tomorrow morning, I'll go ahead and I'll film and take a picture of my first spread so that I can kind of walk everybody through it. And that way everything should be up before Thursday, before people may potentially start to do this. Hopefully with this explanation, and I will also go and edit into the comments of the picture I posted of the spread. You'll see that. And I'm going to go ahead and post it not only in the main group, but in an album. I think I have the album set up, so that's all I've got up right now. But I will be fixing that as soon as I can. And if this does not get uploaded tonight, it will tomorrow morning with everything else. But hopefully we can get her uploaded tonight and get this all out there so you guys can try this out. I'm excited. And again, I'll walk through doing it once myself so you can kind of see what's going on. And hopefully with the pictures, it'll make a lot more sense. But either way, I look forward to your comments. I look forward to seeing your spreads. I appreciate you all, and just have a good night out there, everybody. Be safe. Thank you.